Hey, how's it going? I am a little goblin that likes to do makeup, and today I'm going to prepare for a fiery boudoir shoot, but not in the traditional sense. I'm going to try some special effects burn makeup. I thought it would be a little cheeky. It's going to be a little bit of a longer video, so let's get into it. Let's do it. All right, I've gotten my wig cap here. I've got my trusty little hair ties. I couldn't think of the word for some reason. So we're going to get our hair separated a little bit here. And I got these new wig caps and they're not as big as I'd like them to be for my fat head. So we're gonna have to try a little bit harder with these guys to lay my hair flat. I've got some bobby pins. We're gonna do some good old fashioned reach around with my hair. There we go. Do the same thing with this one. Spread it out to where I used to have hair. Yeah. Oh, there we go. I moved everything around here, but it's alright. Doesn't need to be perfect, it just needs to stay up there. And take our little wig cap here. And we're gonna go from the top and out. Pull it down, stuff all of our little extra hairs in there. Get them out of the way. And now normally on these, I like to pull them forward and cut them, but I'm not entirely sure that I have the room with this one to do that, and that is okay. So what I think I'm going to end up doing is just pulling it back and trying to glue it here in itself, instead of cutting it back and flipping it around my ears, and then I'll just cut them out. That's what I get for trying a new thing. It's like, oh, it's a value pack. Yeah, value. So I've got my got to be glued here. We're gonna go around and just make sure the line, since I'm not cutting it, I want it to be pretty darn close here. And just kind of get that glue in so it's touching the skin and everything. There we go. I don't even know if you can see that, but the band is a little bit thicker, so but not too much, not too much. I'm actually pretty excited for this one. I have always loved like special effects monsters, horror movies, and everything like that. So taking time to try and turn myself into some creepy, crawly stuff is really fun. And I look forward to it. In fact, growing up, we weren't allowed to watch like Nightmare on Elm Street or anything like that. And after I finally did at one of my friend's house, I was just like, who is this man? Mother, why have you kept him from me? And then I wasn't allowed to watch it for a whole different reason. I'll tell on myself there. Had a crush on Freddy Krueger. Still do. I've got an autograph from him in my upstairs office. Third one's my favorite. Let me know if you have a favorite. Who your favorite slasher is, horror, monster, icon, whatever. Getting all the way around here, a nice thick line of glue. I'm gonna just pull it back a little bit before it sets in. I'm worried I'm not gonna have enough face space. And there are many different ways to do lace front wigs and wigs in general and stuff like that. This is just what works best for me. I'm not going to be wearing my wig for a long time just for the shoot and everything, so I'm not going to use wig glue or anything like that. And putting a little bit behind my ear seemed to help keep it in place after I cut it last time, so we'll try it this time. See if it wasn't just a fluke. There we go. Alright, I'm going to spare you having to listen to my blow dryer, so we will be right back after I get it all dry. I just keep it on a low setting and just kind of speed the process up, make sure everything sticks the way it's supposed to, and then we'll be right back. So I've got my wig, my long black wig here. We're going to find the middle, come around from the back, go over the big old hump we got there of hair. It's not my head, I swear. Make sure the back is stuck there. Oh, 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 not the hair. Check it. See, that's what I get for saying something. Alright, there we go. And we'll come around. Get it all situated. Little baby hairs. And pull it up just to where the laces meet each other. And I don't know if you were around for the last video when I said that I had cut it at an angle last time, so I had way more lace on one side than on the other. There we go. Alright, and now I'm going to, oh, I should have put this on beforehand. Let me get my headband on. Try and catch all these hairs out of the way here. So when I glue, there we go. Pull everything back, give it one more pull forward there. And then I'm going to take some of my Got to Be Glued and do the corners and up here so that everything sticks, and then we'll start to go around and get our wig on, shape it and everything, pull our ears out there. Alright, I've gotten my wig secured, changed, and we're all ready to go here. Finally to the fun bits. So I'm going to just map out the actual spots where I want all of the burns to be, so that way when I start working, I'm not like, oh, where do I want this guy? So I definitely want one coming from there. And then this one, we're going to do a little bit of a smaller one. I want it to almost interact with my eye, but not actually like be as a part of my eye. I'm not 100% sure on what I'm doing. Oh, I came in too far. So I don't want to play around with my eye and make it more complicated than it needs to be for myself. And we're going to just map out a little bit beyond my shoulder here. Come down, do some crazy lines. Can't really see it on there, but that's alright. You'll see it as we start to fill in. And I've gotten my little thing of liquid latex here, and I saw little things where you can do like burn buildup with this or like gelatin, and I thought this might be a little bit easier for me. Gelatin will save for a later date when I'm feeling a little bit more creative, adventurous, what have you. So I'm going to take this, and I've got little bits of toilet paper, and I'm just going to kind of build up different textures with the latex itself and with the toilet paper, and just kind of, you want it to look like gross buildups of like somebody moved your skin and everything like that. Kind of get sticky. Take just a little bit here. I need somewhere good. There we go. I was gonna say, I need somewhere good to set that guy down real fast. Grab a little bit more of this here. I don't know if you can see, but the way that I'm trying to build on it is so that it looks more like skin and less like little pieces of toilet paper. They don't need to know what it is that we're working with here. Here, got a little bit more on it. keep trying to use my fingers for everything, and I know I'm just going to get stuck to myself and everything everywhere if I continue to do so. It's looking pretty good. I don't know if you guys can see it. We're starting to build some textures there. I'm gonna make this a little bit more of a defined bulge there. Good thing this was a thrifted shirt. Artsy toilet paper. Try to lay my bath tissue in such a artisan way. Delicate and feminine. I kind of like that. I don't know if you can see, it's like a little drapery going over there. I kind of like that. A little skin flat. When I play D&D as my rogue, my dark elf rogue, Miss Danafe Dawnbreaker, she collects skin flaps. For bandit purposes, that way I can identify the bounties correctly. We're not gonna go too far down there, but get a little bit. There we go. And now we're gonna come this way and go just a little bit over the shoulder here. We're making good progress though. It's only been about 6 hours. No, I'm just kidding. Can you imagine that? Oh, good God. I'd be very meticulous. I would be definitely having one of my ADHD moments if that's what I was doing. A little hyper focus of the day. If I happen to take my medication and get stuck on my phone looking at something or doing something before I actually like write a plan or anything, it's over. It's done so. I'm gonna be like useless all day, completely distracted. Nope, I was scrolling, now that's all I want to do. But most times, if I'm able to make myself a nice little daily list, I can get it all done and then lay around and do what I want to do. Actually, that's a lie. I don't lay around. I just do more of this. Doing writing for our D&D campaign that's coming up. I'm going to try my hand at DMing at one point. That'll be interesting. I do a lot of painting. Maybe I'll do painting videos. I'm not the greatest painter, but I like to paint. That's all that matters. I kind of like the way that that looks in there. It's almost like it's going into my shoulder blade, into this little crevice up here. Shoulder blades in the back. I know anatomy. I passed. I still just get a little nervous in front of the camera, and it makes my mouth do dumb things, as if that's going to make it any better. Like, oh, I see you're nervous. What if you said a lot of dumb things? Wouldn't that help? Like, no. No, it wouldn't. Alright. Come in. I'm going to leave this alone up here for a little bit, let it dry. We're going to come down this way now. Alright, this is the last piece, and then I will go and clean up this mess here. Wipe off my fingers, and we'll get started building our bones. There you go. You see everything? Alright. So I'm going to go dispose of all of my junk here, clean off my fingers, wipe everything down, and we'll be right back to get started building everything. Okay. Alright. I have cleaned up, washed off my fingers and everything, and we're finally back to it. So I'm going to actually, before I go and start building these colors, I'm going to get my foundation on, get my face ready to go for the actual makeup, and then I'm going to take my little contour thing here and start going around the edges and kind of make it look almost like bruise lines or just darker things so that it'll start to blend in when I do the rest of the colors here. I want a really cohesive burn look. I don't want to look really like fake, you know? We don't want cheap burns around here. I'm gonna do just a little bit here. I don't have too much actual face to work with, so a little bit there, a little bit there, a little for that guy. And I'm gonna do just a tiny bit up here to blend in that hairline up there. A little sponge guy out of his little water bath. He's always chilling, slacking on the job. And just start batting it around. And all of my liquid latex is dry up here at this point, and if I get any in there, it won't matter, because it'll just help with the building of the color. Foundation is on. We're getting ready to set with our little e.l.f. setting powder. I'm just gonna go in here and just bat at it a little bit. Trying to avoid getting too much powder on all that burn stuff we just did, but even if I do, it's no biggie. And just blend it right in once we get to working over there. And it should all be dry, so yeah. Go ahead and just set this. I love all the weird faces I make on here. It's a good thing that I do not care what I look like, or else, you know, it'd be a real problem here. Ooh. Can you see that little dark spot out there? Mr. Wig is trying to pop up again. So many technical difficulties today. That's alright. I can always tell whenever I've had a long week or anything like that, because I always mess up my words and get flustered and get tongue-tied more easy, and then I start to notice all the little things that probably happen all the time, but now I'm just like, the day is out to make me angry. But why? But it's not. I'm just a little flustered, and, you know, been a long work week, so we'll get this video and this photo shoot done, and I'll go chill with the cats and plan another one. I just finished the Godmakers book by Frank Herbert. Yes, I believe it's Frank Herbert. It's one of those sci-fi guys. It's either Ray Bradbury, Frank Herbert, Isaac Asimov, one of them. I've got a whole stack of them that I go through, but it was a decent book. The only thing that I can't stand is they're like, oh, what a handsome woman. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Well, I have a little FX palette here that I got with my Eye of the Beholder prosthetic. And then I've got a little color wheel here. I'm going to take some of those yellows and kind of just blend out a little bit here and maybe a little bits of red. I'm not sure that I want to start all that yet. Let me grab a couple of these little guys. All right. Grab this like cream yellow and this darker yellow here. And kind of one little hair there. start building onto those yellows that are already there. And pick the spots that I want to make those in general and make them stand out a little bit more. Doesn't have to be everywhere, just pick and choose random spots, just fill in with these light colors. Make it easier to blend those spots later. And take the other side there and grab some of this pink and kind of just map out little areas and blend out with my finger where we're going to put like some irritated skin spots. Oh, I totally forgot to go in with my little contour guy. That's alright, we'll do it after we pick some of these pink spots. Doesn't need to be too bright or anything. Pat at it with your finger a little bit. We've gotten this down, and I am thinking that it is going to be a good idea to go in with one of these guys. Oh, no, I do have a sponge. With one of these guys. And we're going to start to build our burn colors and everything. So I'm going to take little bits of this and little bits of this deeper red. That's like a brownish red. We're going to go with this one and mix them together and just start blotting and building. Doesn't need to be too much or everywhere because I'm going to go back in with my powders here after and set it. Yeah, there, Mr. Guy. There are a lot more steps to this than I thought there would be when I wrote it down. That's what I get for trying new stuff on the fly. That's all right. I'm having fun. Yeah, see, it's starting to take shape here. We're starting to look like we tried to cash in some insurance money and died in a house fire. That would be my luck. It doesn't need to be too serious with this because I am going to come back in and blend it out with a dry brush that's got nothing on it. Try and get in all those little cracks of skin and everything that we made. That on there. I like that greenish yellow color that I keep using. It gives me the semblance of almost like a infection or like really gross, nasty skin. I like that little addition to the look. Makes it a little bit more believable, at least in my eyes. In there a little bit more. Okay, so I'm going to take one of my smaller brushes here and I think instead of going the liquid route, I think I'm going to try to go with like a little bit of powder. It's just a matter of which do I want to use. I think I'm going to use some of the Modern Renaissance palette. We're going to use the red ochre, and I'm going to go around, kind of blend out a little bit and get into these edges. Get a little bit of dark color in there. Want these to be like crispier spots, like the edges. It's alright, it looks like I got a little bit of black eye. Caught on fire, obviously. Filling in all the spots. Okay, so we are going to take our Fun Size 2 by Sugar Pill. We're going to grab some Player 2. And we're going to gently pat at our edges to get some of that red. Look like little bits of irritation going on. Oh, and grab some of that loading right above it. It's a little bit lighter. It's more of an orangey, but that's alright. And if you want to go over some of these areas, just to make it a little easier, get rid of some of those fleshy colored spots you don't want to be that color, and just go ahead and blend it right in there. Blend in this little hairline spots over there. Okay, we've gotten a little bit of a lighter color on there. I'm gonna take a smaller brush and start going in with some of these darker reds and a little bit of this purple off of this wheel here. Just in smaller spots. Maybe a little bit of red on there for good measure. And try to pick the spots that have more flesh mounds in it. That makes sense for you to build off of. Those are going to have more of your shaded spots. These little color wheels are super handy too. I like them. Not super expensive. Good range of colors. Everything is blendable and plays well with other colors. Just trying to check it in there, make sure it looks good to my standards. Okay, we'll start moving our way down here. Ooh, there's a little scaly back there. And see how it's starting to look like mangled, burned everywhere? That's exactly what we want. So now, I think, I should go in with a little bit of black. Start charring up some areas here. We'll build with the one from the color wheel, and then we'll go on to a powder and a small brush. I feel like swiping at it like that is gonna work, because it'll do the tops of everything. And I want to look burned. And then when we go back in with the powder, it should add a nice touch to it. Darker spots like over here by the ear. Don't want to fill it in too much. Else it's not going to look like burns. It's going to look like a big old spots on your face. Okay. Let's set that aside so I don't lose it. Gonna grab one of these more pointy brushes. And I grab my Makeupamurder Lost Signals palette. It's all these gray shades. So I'm going to grab one of these like medium grays here. And go in and just start maybe a little bit of a lighter gray. I don't want it to look too muted. I just want to try and shade it. If I have to go back in with a red at the end, that is totally fine. I want it to just be a little bit darker up in here. And some spots. Maybe a little bit in there. And take a little bit of this maroon shade from my Muerta palette from Melt Cosmetics. We're going to do the Rio and a little bit of Sangre. We're going to come in and get some darker shadows, darker reds. I'm actually really liking the way that this is turning out. It's a lot of fun. And every time that I go to do a process like this, I'm always like, oh, it won't take me too long. Don't worry. I'll be there at blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, so I had an extra like 4 hours. Sorry. But at least I'll know for next time. And it probably won't be as long because I'll have a little bit of a better idea of what to expect and what I'm doing. But it'll still be a little bit of a longer time. I do that with everything. Remodeling my house, picking makeup, and making costumes. I'm like, oh, yeah, I can get that done in that time. And then time is sneaky. It does creep up. It's almost like it's always moving. Yeah. Back in with some of this coagulated blood and pick out some spots. Oh, it's a little dry in there. I'm gonna just start a little bit too much. A little too much. Picking spots where I just want to layer on some of this. Even if it dries, it's still a good little accent for the colors. I might end up using this instead. My brush. Grab some of it on here. It doesn't need to be everywhere. Don't want it to be too much of a good thing. Ooh, and if you can get it to do those stretchy things too, keep them. And just a little bit of over on this guy. Okay, gonna set that down. I'm now going to grab, oh, I have to clean that off. Good Lord, I made a mess. A big thing of splatter blood. Ooh, almost fell over. I'm gonna grab another one of those applicators. And we're just gonna go in around. Trying to pick more spots. Just spread some bloody goop. And then when we're all done, we'll go in with a little bit more black and accentuate those charred, chunky areas. And I like that it's moved up some of the black as well and like meshed it in with the blood color, so nice and charred blood. I like that. And make the look a little bit more believable too. See? Looking charred. Okay. And I give this a moment to dry. While it does, we're gonna do our eyebrows. And it's a super dry. Here's my little brush. We've got just a mess over here. This one. There it is. Okay, so we've got our KVD, Black Briar, and I want them to just be like one line if I can, right out just like that. So I've got enough space for my eye. There we go. Well, this is drying. We're going to go ahead start mapping out how we're going to do our eyeshadow. So I've got this big, bold black and red eye. So I'm going to take my Sephora waterproof liner here, and I'm going to block it in. Okay. So we're going to take our Makeupamurder Little Signals palette. As soon as I can find the right brush. There it is. You have the darkest black shade and one right in front of it, and just start filling in your little outline. I'm going to use some Thumbilina. It's more of an orangey red, but it should still be fine. Do a little bit of mascara here with our Toofaced Better Than Sex mascara. Come up from the bottom, lift, separate, blink. And I always go back in at the end and I do my lashes. Okay. Now we're going to do our lips here. I'm going to go ahead, get my Sephora liner here. And then we will try that Outlaw lipstick here. Because it's like dead, I don't mind getting the black all over the applicator or anything. All that I have left to do here is my hair, my outfit, throw on some lashes. I'm gonna go clean up my fingies, and then I will be back with my hair. We'll throw on our lashes. Okay, go. Alright. This is the final look. Got my earrings, my hair done. Vampire fangs. I know I had said at the beginning that it was going to be a fiery boudoir shoot, but after showing the photographer, they had a new direction, so we're working with it. I now feel like a crispy lust after, if you know, you know. But, got my long dress on, little heels, sleepy cat. And I am all ready to go take some silly little pictures. So, feel free to subscribe if you enjoyed this crazy ride of a video that we've been on. Like, comment, do all the things, but the most important things, stay well, stay hydrated. Bye!